All right, doing a video on the 2007 Acura RDX. Going to change the rear brake pads and then turn the car around and do the front rotors and pads on it. The rotors on the back, I could see through the openings there that the rotors are still good on the back. So we're just going to change the pads. So I recommend when you're doing this to make sure you change the pads all the way around, and then the rotors if they're not any good. So there we go. We got rear brake pads, front pads, and 2 rotors to change on this today. I'm just doing this on my cell phone, so I'll just capture highlights on it. I've already done this on my wife's Hyundai, so don't need to show the whole thing. Just wanted to explain what I'm doing on this one. Okay, so I got the rear pads off, the old, and you can see they look pretty good, you know, but if you look at the new one, how much pad there is compared to the one I just took off. It's kind of hard to do one-handed here, but you can see the difference, you know. So you might as well put on the full life pad. Also, these are a lot better quality. I got these from Acura. Yeah, these are these are really good, well-made pads. Same with the front. I got some new pads for that too, and all high quality stuff. So these going in the garbage. Yep. All right, just wanted to show you that. Okay, so I got the new pads slid in there. You don't have to take the bracket off when you're not taking the rotor off. Okay, you can get the pads off without taking this part off. On the front, since I'm changing the rotors, I'm going to have to take the brackets off too. The caliper is actually over here. This is the bracket for the caliper. So this here, you just remove these 2 bolts right here. Take that off, but make sure you don't put stress on the brake line. Put it up here where it's just sitting there so it doesn't fall down. So I got that set on there against the rotor. On the plate on both sides, it comes with this this graphite grease. Okay, that's what that's for, is you put that on these plates so the caliper, the piston, when it's riding against those metal parts, it doesn't make a squeaking noise and all that. And then also use this this stuff on the slide pins. So make sure you grease these 2 pins with the same grease, and then put it together. All right, so this one is down to this nothing, paper thin. That's what was making all the noise, because the warning tabs were scraping on here. That's yeah, pretty bad shape. Yep, that's what the thickness of the pad's supposed to be when it's new, and that one's completely gone. This one is about more than halfway down. So they were wearing uneven for one. These pins need to be greased before they go in. They go together evenly. You got to break in the brakes. I'll show you how to do that. It's called bedding the brakes. And I did it on the Hyundai. I'm going to do it here on the Acura when I'm done. And I think I'll put the my GoPro in the car when I go out to test, do the bedding on it. That way you can see how to do it. All right. So that's it for fixing the 2007 Acura RDX, my daughter's car, with the scraping noise coming out of the front end of her car. So we figured that out. We changed the rear pads. The rotors were still good. Showed you the difference between amount left of the old pads and what the new pads look like. And then also on the front pads, I showed you how far gone the driver's side was. It was completely gone on one of the pads. The other pad was about more than halfway done. And then the rotor itself was wasted because of the warning tabs were scraping. That's the job they're supposed to do before it's totally metal against metal. But either way, these rotors anymore, if they're still in good shape, you could probably turn them, but they're pretty much throwaway rotors anymore. And they don't cost that much. So I replaced both the front rotors, the front pads, and the rear pads only on the rear end. Like I said, bedding in the brakes is something you should do after you change disc brakes, okay? And the way you do that, I made a prior video that showed how to do that, step by step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a link on this one so you can click on it and go right back to that video to see how to break in your new brakes. Because if you don't, you just change the discs, change the rotors, and then just start driving, the pads will wear uneven and they'll go out faster, and worse yet, when you start going down a hill, it'll start pulsating and your steering wheel will start shaking. So you don't want that. You want your brakes to last a long time and to be as safe as possible. Also, when you're changing those the brackets, when you take the two bolts out to take the caliper off and set it to the side, there's two pins that are still on the bracket and they have a rubber boot on them. Make sure you pull that rubber boot back and pull those pins out, both of them, clean them off with brake clean, and then grease those pins up. That makes it so those brakes, those shoes will, the pads, will wear evenly on both sides. If they start sticking, when you push on the brake, you'll be wearing down one side, and that's what happened on hers. It just wasn't greased up. And also, when you put the pads on the metal parts on the ends and the metal bracket that it goes into, grease that area up too, so those shoes are sliding back and forth, okay? That's in pads. That's important, okay? So you like the video, please subscribe, leave comments, hit the notification bell, give me a like if you like, and share the video with your friends and family. I appreciate it. Thanks.